This talented wizard designs a spell to make everyone happy, but the consequences destroy the whole town. The citizens humiliate the wizard, which makes him angry, and he brings a sadness spell. Terry Dexter is a sweet young boy who loves hearing his grandma's stories. One day, the grandma tells him about a magic land called the Groovynham. It was full of magical species, talking animals, human-like creatures, and talented wizards. Once upon a time, a famous young wizard called the Grin headed towards Groovingham's capital along with his wife, Mary. The Grin was the top student of Wizard Academy, which made him famous all over Groovingham. As soon as the public saw him arriving, they started celebrating and chanting, "Here comes the Grin." The young wizard loved hearing this chant and all the attention he got. Today was even more special because the Grin was going to be appointed as the royal wizard. Finally, his dream was going to be a reality. On this special occasion, the Grin decided to present his newest and biggest spell, the happiness spell. That spell not only changed everyone into pink color, but also made them extremely happy and carefree. At first, the king loved the spell as it made the citizens pay tax without any complaint. But suddenly, the carefree public got out of hand and started destroying the town. The king blamed the Grin and ordered his guards to capture the young wizard. The Grin didn't do anything intentionally, but no one agreed to listen to him. Poor wizard started running away and jumped in his wife's carriage. They ran to the mountains and hid themselves in a cave. Mary understood that her husband only wanted to make everyone happy, but it can't be forced because everyone should be allowed to find their own happiness. To cheer up the Grin, Mary brought the dragon egg that hatched in a blink of an eye. She asked the Grin to look after the dragon while she went to bring the supplies. Unfortunately, Mary got arrested by the royal guards and never returned. As a punishment for helping the Grin, the king banished Mary and sent her to another world. The Grin kept waiting for her and assumed that Mary deceived him to run away by herself. Terry's grandma ends the wizard story and says that not every story has a happy ending. Terry gets a little sad, so the next morning, Grandma takes him to the amusement park. This is the most popular park in the whole city and belongs to Terry's grandma. His parents don't have time, but Terry always assists his grandma. After a few years, Grandma suddenly dies, and the park loses its charm. Terry can't get over this grief and consider the park a memory of his grandma. He keeps everything the same as years ago and doesn't repair anything. The manager advises him to face the reality and move on in his life. After the manager leaves, Terry finds the lost handle of Grandma's carriage. As soon as he puts it on the carriage, a magic portal opens and he flies inside it. He reaches a magical place full of dragons, castles, and chocolate mines. It seems like a real-life version of all the rides Grandma designed for the amusement park. It's a great place to explore, but Terry gets busy fixing the carriage because he wants to return home as soon as possible. Little does he know, he has reached Groovynham, the place mentioned in his grandma's stories. The Grin is still alive and captured in the central jail. Since he caused destruction in the kingdom, everyone started calling him the Grump. He finally succeeds in breaking out and plans his revenge. The Grump wants to punish the king for arresting him, but surprisingly, the king has already died. The Grump regrets coming out so late and wonders what to do now. Suddenly, he hears the announcement about the coronation of the king's only child, Princess Dawn. Hearing this, the Grump decides to take his revenge from the princess. He calls his dragon, Dingo, and his servants Grumpies, and they all head towards the kingdom. It's a beautiful day in the palace, and everyone is waiting for the Princess Dawn to appear for coronation. However, the young princess is still not ready to be a queen. She just wants to sit in her palace and wait for her charming prince. The loyal servants show her the shiny crown and convince her to become the queen. Suddenly, a servant arrives with the bad news. The Grump is heading towards the palace. As he's the only wizard left alive, no one will be able to break his magic spells. The citizens ask the Grump to run away as he's not welcome in the kingdom, but the Grump says the king treated him unfairly. He only wanted to spread happiness. Now he will take his revenge by spreading sadness with his gloomy spell. The servants hide the princess in the underground chamber and ask her to look for the oracle once she gets out. The princess doesn't pay attention to their advice as she believes a Prince Charming will come to save her. Meanwhile, Terry has repaired his carriage and proceeds to attach the handle, but a weird creature steals the handle. It's the Princess Dawn's pet, Bip. To get back the handle, Terry runs after Bip and reaches the kingdom. He gets really shocked to see how all the citizens look so gloomy and annoyed. Bip takes the handle to the princess room, so Terry follows it there. The princess comes out of the hiding chamber and assumes that Terry is the Prince Charming who has come to save her. Terry just wants to get back home and asks for Dawn's help, but she keeps forcing him to accept that he's a prince. Terry gets frustrated and says that he's a prince, but it makes Dawn more delusional. She has read too many fairy tales and believes that in every princess's life, there comes a time when she faces a great crisis like a sleeping spell or a dragon attack. And when that time comes, the Prince Charming will appear to rescue his love. Princess Dawn asks Terry to follow her so they can meet the royal chancellor. Terry keeps asking when he can get home, but the princess says he needs to save the kingdom and marry her. After that, he will be allowed to focus on other things. Before Terry can say anything in reply, they encounter the chancellor and the other royal servants. The princess asks them for help, but they all refuse because of the gloomy spell. Suddenly, the Grump breaks in and sends his Grumpies to attack the princess. She starts running away along with Terry and remembers about meeting the oracle. To find the right place, they need a map, but Princess Dawn has forgotten where the map room is. The palace is so huge that you need a map to find the map room. There are hundreds of rooms in each floor, and each one of them is different, such as the carousel room, the plastic balls room, the howling wind room, and even a clapping monkeys room. The Grumpies get closer and attack with mood darts. One of them is an ego dart that hits Terry and he starts admiring himself. After a while, the insecurity dart hits the princess, and she starts doubting herself. Once they get rid of the darts, they continue looking for the map room. It's full of thousands of books, but none of them has the map. The Grump reaches there too, so Terry pushes down all the shelves to escape the wizard. Suddenly, they meet a bird called GP Sparrow, who agrees to guide them to the oracle. They run out of the palace and get in the flying carriage to reach the oracle. Terry wants to finish this job as soon as possible so he can return home and take care of his grandma's amusement park. He needs to find a way to make the park as cool as before. The princess finally accepts that he's not a prince, but she still falls in love with him after seeing Terry's concern for his grandma and family. GP Sparrow takes them to a weird place where random stone slabs are scattered on the ground. Terry starts to doubt the sparrow, but suddenly, the stones start moving by themselves and move a giant creature. It carries Terry and the princess in his hands and introduces himself as the all-seeing oracle. Terry still suspects everything and asks the stone monster to prove that he's the oracle. The monster starts telling some embarrassing secrets of Terry and proves that he is definitely the oracle who knows everything. The princess requests for his help in saving her kingdom, so the oracle tells a way to break the gloomy spell. They need to travel to the cave of whispering orchids and find the crystal key. It is the only way to break the spell, and will also help Terry in getting back home. It's not a regular key. It's the key to happiness. Terry and the princess get ready to find the key, but the Grump hears everything too. He decides to find the key before anyone else and destroy it. He advises Terry to focus on returning home instead of helping the princess because she will leave him eventually. No one stays with you forever. Saying this, the Grump starts attacking everyone. At first, Terry and the princess hide under the cave, then they start running towards the carriage. Terry succeeds in reaching the carriage, but the princess gets caught by Dingo. The Grump finds the carriage familiar and starts staring at it. While he is distracted, Terry sprays some perfume on Dingo, which makes it sneeze. The princess falls back in the carriage along with Terry, but the carriage gets damaged and falls in a random place. The carriage needs to be patched, so Terry starts looking for suitable material. The princess suddenly remembers about the Balloony Woony kingdom that must be nearby. They will definitely have a patch for the carriage, but first they need to set up a camp as it is getting dark. The princess puts some flowers on the carriage and makes a comfy bed for herself while poor Terry is sleeping on the ground. The princess is habitual of hearing bedtime stories, so she requests Terry to do it for her. Terry starts telling a story of a kid and his grandma, and the princess says that the story must have a happy ending. This makes Terry angry, and he says that there's nothing like happily ever after. Real-life stories don't have happy endings. The princess gets shocked to hear this and advises Terry to be more optimistic. Happy endings exist. You just need to know where to look for them. The next morning, they head towards the Balloony Woony kingdom. Terry remembers the stories his grandma told him about the kingdom. It must be full of brave red balloons defending the castle with weapons and shields. However, things are different in reality. Instead of weapons, the balloons are holding mobile phones. There's no more a king and the castle has turned into a cafe. The balloons are selling different kinds of flavored oxygen drinks here. Terry refuses to take any of the drinks, but the princess immediately grabs one. The bartender adds 2 extra caffeinated oxygen shots in the princess's drink, which makes her really drunk. Terry gets angry and asks to meet the owner, but the balloons say they are their own masters. Terry can't take this anymore and requests for a patch, but before the balloons can deliver one, the Grump attacks the castle. Instead of grabbing weapons, the balloons grab their cell phones and computers. They plan to crush the Grump with insulting comments. The Grump gets angry to see the comments and starts firing at the castle. The balloons increase the toxicity of the comments and inappropriate emojis, but it doesn't seem to work. Terry gets frustrated and jumps in to help. Firstly, he orders the balloons to bring their injured mates. Terry patches the holes and pumps oxygen to make balloons good as new. Suddenly, Terry gets an idea. They can use oxygen to redirect the dragon flames. Terry tells everyone to grab an oxygen tank and get ready to fight. During the battle, Terry slips his foot and almost falls off the roof. His oxygen tank is empty while the scary dragon is just inches away from him. Luckily, Princess Dawn reaches there out of nowhere and her scent makes the dragon sneeze. The Grump flies away with the dragon while the balloons cheer for Terry for saving them. The balloons fix his carriage and wish him best of luck for their journey. Terry was about to start the carriage, but the Grump casted a spell on them before falling down the cliff. The spell hits the princess and she turns into the most gloomy and insecure person. She asks Terry to leave her behind and find a prettier princess. Terry can't let her suffer alone, so he asks GP Sparrow to find help nearby. Luckily, they find an alchemist nearby and head towards him. However, the only way to get there is to pass through the deadly path of the Christmas tree forest. It's freezing cold, but Terry doesn't give up for the sake of Princess Dawn. Suddenly, a bunch of fairy lights grab the carriage and pull it down. Terry starts collecting his friends, but a creepy Christmas tree catches them and hangs them upside down. The talking Christmas trees want to kill their captives and turn them into ornaments and pastries. They have captured the Grump as well. Terry notices the tree's obsession with Christmas, and he lies that they are also on a Christmas quest. The Grump is a saint traveling with his elves and dragon to distribute gifts among everyone. Terry starts singing Christmas songs and asks the Grump to join him if he wants to get out of here alive. The Grump joins the stupid act and the Christmas trees fall for the trap. They let everyone go, so Terry immediately takes the princess to the alchemist. He puts Dawn inside a pot and starts analyzing the spell. After a while, the alchemist declares that a spell can only be broken by a real wizard. As the Grump is the only wizard left, they should try curing the princess with the first kiss of true love. Terry tries to explain that he doesn't love the princess yet, but the alchemist still asks him to give it a try. It must be done during the sunrise, so Terry takes the princess to a cliff where the sun can be seen clearly. Terry asks the sparrow to give them some privacy and shoves it away, saying, "Chop, chop." As he says that, Dawn gets miraculously cured, but Terry assumes that it happened because of the kiss. Dawn gets confused because she thought the first kiss of true love would be more epic. Terry is also confused because he doesn't know how the spell broke, even though he doesn't love the princess. She gets sad on hearing this, but Terry reminds her that it's just been a day since they met. People don't fall in love so quickly. Real relationships are hard, and people need to work on them. Princess Dawn still seems sad and asks Terry why it is so difficult for him to fall in love or believe in happily ever after. She asks him to leave because she is going to sit here until the real Prince Charming arrives. Terry can't give any more explanations and heads towards the cave of whispering orchids. As soon as he enters it, the petals cover his body and throw him outside. He lands on the Grump's dragon, and they start fighting again. The Grump puts a sleeping spell on Terry and jumps inside the cave to get the crystal key. Bip witnesses everything and rushes back to the princess to inform her about Terry. Princess Dawn gets really worried and looks for a way to help Terry as soon as possible. Suddenly, a prince arrives looking for her, but she borrows his horse to reach Terry. He's lying in the middle of a forest surrounded by animals just like a princess. Dawn breaks the spell with a kiss and carries Terry in her arms. She's no less than a prince herself. The Grump comes back and asks how Terry got the key. Terry doesn't know himself and runs away in his carriage. The Grump gets angry and orders his servants to lock up Terry and the princess. Terry finally starts recalling all the past events and realizes that he is a wizard too. That's why he was able to break the spell on the princess. Now he must use his magic to stop the Grump. Bip helps in getting the prison key and they all go after the Grump. The princess volunteers to fight the Grumpies while Terry uses his magic to get rid of the Grump. They get back the magic key, but it seems to be broken. The princess says she has realized that she doesn't need a prince for her happily ever after. She can protect herself, so Terry should go back home. Terry can't be so selfish and decides to stay with the princess until the danger is gone. As he says that, the key starts working and removes all the spells. It worked because Terry and Dawn finally gave up their past griefs. After everything is fixed, Terry gets ready to go back home, but the Grump gets indexed the carriage too. They land in the amusement park, and the Grump gets mesmerized by all the details. He finally realizes that Mary was Terry's grandma. She never ran away. She was stuck here, so she built a whole amusement park in the memory of her husband. The Grump regrets what he did, but all he wanted to do was make everyone happy. Terry forgives him and says that they can still make everyone happy by reopening the amusement park. The Grump agrees and uses his magic to make the amusement park better than ever. It becomes a huge success, and even Princess Dawn comes to visit it. She has decided to get to know Terry better and work on their relationship, because for the happily ever after, you need to put in some effort.